Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Juliet, as mentioned earlier, and I'm a researcher at the Responsible Artificial Intelligence Lab at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in Ghana. So I'll be talking to us all on governing the use of generative AI in public and civic decision-making contests. And I think today, looking around, I happen to be the only black amongst us. I think maybe I'm unique or something. Yeah, so I would actually start by talking about some governance gap and what I term illusion of authority, global case studies, some dimension frameworks, and also some policy recommendations. So I would say that people are already experiencing AI as an authority. So there was a case that happened in Accra. Accra is a city in Ghana where a small business owner actually went to consult customs. So she actually consulted an AI system that actually evaluates customs. And she consulted this AI system, and the AI system gave her some sort of results. The results were so confident that she believed in it and then acted on these results that this AI system actually gave her. And after she acted on that, she realized that the guidance that this AI system gave her was outdated. And by the time she realized, she had already lost money. There was also a case that happened in Temaport, which is also in Ghana, where an importer disputes an AI customs valuation. So the man realized that the amount that he was going to pay was so much. And then the custom officer said he couldn't do anything about it. There's no way he can do anything about it because he can't take any amount that is lesser or lower than what the AI system actually suggested. And you realize that this issue is so bad. It's so bad, and it's happening. There was also an issue that happened in Vienna where a job seeker actually went into an employment system to seek for a job. But little did the person know that in the person's mind, the person thought he was being assessed by a caseworker or something. But in actual sense, it was the AI that was assessing the person. And the AI was doing that based on the person's age, gender. By the time the person realized, the AI had scored the person so low and then lost their job. So you realize that most of these things are happening. There are so many decisions that AI is making. And we tend to actually leave AI to make decisions. In actual sense, these AI systems are not supposed to be making decisions on their own. They are actually tools to help us make decisions. But realize that looking at these scenarios I actually gave, these systems were supposed to act as tools to help, but they ended up providing some sort of decision, and which is so bad. And the experience from this is that it's actually acting as some institutional authority. So there are several frameworks that are actually guiding the use of AI. We have OECD AI Policy Observatory that is tracking national AI policies, and also some initiatives of some countries. We have the EU Act that is also that also guides the use of AI systems and then how they are supposed to actually work and all. But the issue with these frameworks is that they tend to look at how these models actually work, how the data is trained and all, without looking at how these systems are deployed in public institutions where they're actually making decisions. And then that is where there's an issue or there's a limitation, because if these systems or generative AI systems are left to make decisions without any human overlooking them, then it becomes a great challenge. So there's something that I have termed illusion of authority. So realize that when we talk about automation bias, it's a phenomenon where people tend to refer to AI rather than they making these decisions themselves. They tend to depend on AI to make these decisions. And also, sometimes the mistakes that most of us make is when there's an AI system or there's an AI tool that is actually from the government, we don't really, most people think that, oh, this is from the government. That means that, oh, this is what the government is saying. And we allow such tools to make decisions without considering or looking at what the decision the AI system is making. AI systems or these AI tools are not supposed to be left to make decisions on their own. They are just there to support us, to make works easier for us. But we end up leaving them to make decisions, and at the end of the day, they make decisions which end up affecting we humans. And one thing that these also governance that are, or these governance frameworks that's already in existence, one thing that they address or they focus on training data quality and then bias mitigations, model safety. They look at some technical standards for AI inputs, developer obligations and certifications, but they actually, there's this gap in these governance frameworks, and then normally they fail to answer these questions. They fail to actually look at how AI is positioned when it comes to decision workflows, and also whether users really understand the role of AI and whose values are encoded in Civic output, and then also who is accountable. So when an AI is being deployed and then it actually makes wrong decision, who is to be held accountable? Realize that there are decisions where, I think this morning someone spoke about a self-driving car, where a self-driving car will make decision. Let's say I'm using a self-driving car and I'm a minor, and then this self-driving car happens to hit someone. Now, the question is, who is supposed to be held accountable? If I'm a minor, are my parents supposed to be held accountable? Are the companies supposed to be held accountable? Am I supposed to be held accountable? Because if you are holding the company that is responsible for manufacturing this self-driving car accountable, the company will say that I'm not the developer. The developers will say that, but this is, so you realize that a shared accountability is no accountability. So there is a need that anytime these AI systems are deployed, there are governance or frameworks that are really looking into that, not just looking at the model development and all, but also looking at their deployment in real-world cases. And also, we actually looked at this around 4 jurisdictions. So there was a case in Austria that talks about EMS profiling, Ghana, Publican AI, Netherlands, Siri system, and then we also have South Africa, SASA or Net1. So with this, I'll take this one after the other. So the first case that I'm going to talk about, for us to really understand this socio-technical challenge that I spoke before, is actually AMS labor market profiling system in Austria. So this was a system that was actually manufactured or was designed to be able to process over 200,000 jobs, so job seekers. So it's actually, what's it called, processing their profiles. But realize that this system was a bit discriminatory. So it did that looking at gender, age, disability, and then nationality. And it did that by grouping them into tiers. So there was tier 1 or tier A, tier B, tier C. And those that were classified low were actually classified under tier C. You realize that with this kind of system, the people that this system were actually used for their processing didn't really know that this was also happening, and they didn't understand what was actually happening. They were not meaningfully informed that there was this algorithm that was actually processing their profiles and all. And this system was actually rolled out, but I realized that this is actually a breach or a failure in role clarity. Anytime AI systems are being used, users should be able to understand what they are doing, how they are making their decisions. There should be some sort of transparency when these AI systems make decisions. Another one too that I would like to talk about is the Siri welfare fraud detection in Netherlands. So this actually system linked 17 or over 17 data sets across different sectors. And then what it did was that it actually ranked those that were from low-income countries and also those that were immigrants as having high risk. And I believe that this system is biased because if a system is to look at someone's setting or whether the person is poor or rich and is to actually rank the person as having a higher risk or a lower risk, I don't think that there's some sort of fairness here. So systems or AI systems should be fair. They should be fair enough so that they don't actually make decisions based on area or environments where people are staying and then all. And there was also a case that happened in South Africa, that's the Net1 system. And this was actually a grant, so this was a grant recipient system where this biometric grant was actually, system was made to pay people, and these people that this system was made to pay were persons with disability, people with old age, and then all. And after their biometrics were taken, their biometrics were actually given to third parties, some loan companies and all. And that is a breach of data privacy. That is so wrong. That is so wrong. So I believe that as policymakers, as regulators, as researchers and all, there is a need to really look at how these AI systems are deployed in public institutions, in settings and all. It is not only enough looking at it from only the models, and that is also good, that is also perfect. But in real-world deployments, we should also look at how these systems are deployed and how they also affect people. And there was also a case in Ghana, the Publican AI Customs Valuation System. So this system actually evaluates things that people actually import. And the issue with this thing is, what if this AI system actually provide or produce wrong results? What if it makes mistake? You ask yourself, who is going to be held responsible? Are we going to hold the Ghana Revenue Authority responsible? Are we going to hold the ministry responsible? All of these things have to be taken into consideration because sometimes we are more interested in the models, whether they are transparent. We don't want black box models and all, but we end up forgetting about these models or when they are actually deployed in real life and their impacts on the lives of people. And so to actually address that, we came up with a framework for evaluating the responsible use in this public decision-making. And one is role clarity. So role clarity answers the question, so do users really understand that AI is involved? Do they really know that the decision that is being taken is actually done by AI? Do they really understand? And do they even understand what decision these AI systems are making and what it can do and where human judgment must also remain? There's also value sensitivity. That also asks the question, do AI outputs reflect the actual social and cultural values of the communities they serve or just default assumptions? And there's also contestability, where individuals can meaningfully challenge or seek review. So when AI systems make decisions, human or individuals can challenge those decisions that these AI systems are making, not just leaving them just like that. And also institutional accountability, as I said earlier. When AI systems make decisions or they cause harm, who are we holding responsible? Who are we holding responsible? So it is very, very important that as users, we tend to really understand or we tend to know how these systems are deployed and what happens when they make wrong decisions. So why did we actually go with this framework? So this framework actually evaluates how AI is used, not just the model, but the deployment as well. And it also bridges the gap between AI principles and enforceable public administration. It also talks about some applicable, or it's applicable across sectors, welfare, customs, employment, and also health. And each dimension maps directly to a documented governance failure. So to fix this governance gap, we can't just do it on our own. We need help from stakeholders to be able to fix these government gaps. We all have to come together and then work to fix these gaps. So for policymakers and the regulators, mandate is to mandate deployment level obligations and also extend EU AI Act and AI strategies beyond model, it should move beyond model compliance to address user reliance. And also with deploying public institutions, we have to preserve genuine human oversight, not just certification. So whatever decision an AI makes, a human has to oversee it, a human has to overlook it, and then actually make sure that whatever decision this AI is making is not really causing any harm to anyone. And also for developers and technology providers, they are supposed to design architectures that support human contestability, not just administrative efficiency. And then my time is up, so I'll just rush the rest. So with the key contributions, so alignment is a deployment problem, not just a model problem. And societal value alignment must be evaluated at the point where AI systems are used and relied upon, not only in how models are trained or evaluated internally. And the 4-dimension framework is a practical governance tool. There's role clarity, value sensitivity, and all. Governance must reflect diverse deployment context. So to conclude, I would say that responsible generative AI requires attention to how AI is disclosed, how outputs are weighted against professional judgment, and who is accountable when harm occurs. These questions cannot be answered through model transparency or developer certification alone. So simply, I would say that we should govern AI use, not just AI development. Thank you so much.
So we thank Juliet for the presentation. So we can have questions. Any questions?
Thank you for the presentation, first of all. You talked about user contestability.
Yes.
How would you envision this actually being enforced? Because, I'm just thinking, it sounds nice, but I'm not sure. I'm just thinking AI Act, I don't know if that addresses that specifically. Like, I know about accountability, but I don't know about contestability, if it's...
Yeah, so for contestability is the ability of people to challenge the decisions that this AI makes. And I think, unfortunately, contestability is theoretical, is in paper, but in practice, in real life, it's so difficult because you realize that if an AI makes a decision and you as the person that is being affected, you want to follow by it, by the time you realize, you will just give up. So contestability is a big issue when it comes to responsible AI because most of these AI systems make decisions and it becomes so difficult to challenge these decisions, especially even if you don't have much resources to be able to back that up. Yeah, so that's it.